For this project of creating my own version of an artist book, I used Tom Phillips' A Human for inspiration. Until this class, I had never heard of an artist book, but I was able to grasp the concept of one clearly after reading Anne Catherine Hale's Writing Machines, where she breaks down and discusses a human. I started this project by scanning through the given text and finding several words that could fit together. I gave each page a different theme based on which words and phrases stuck out to me. I then applied personal knowledge and visual narratives to make the pages unique. I used basic markers and colorful pens to create my visual language and bring out my phrases. My rendition of an artist book starts with this page of A Broken Heart. The reading theme is Don't Fall in Love, as emphasized with the first page when reading in a linear fashion. The message behind this page is not to fall in love, therefore the visual language is a broken heart drawn in the background, which foreshadows what typically happens to someone when they fall in love. This close-up of a broken heart has significant phrases that are placed specifically inside of the heart. A lonely man taking advice of a female. This phrase refers to a man who has sought out advice from a female. Paying attention to the break in the heart, the lines don't quite fit together as if they weren't made for each other. This portion of the page refers to the fall when falling in love. To fall means to move downward at a fast pace without control. This means to fall in love is catching strong feelings for someone without control. The three loves are emphasized in the shape of a heart, and they appear each lower than the first, as if they were literally falling off the page. This page has a theme of abuse or domestic violence. The words on this page all have feelings of domestic violence. For example, bruising, bruised, painful divorce can all be outcomes of domestic violence. The visual language is the purple ribbon, which is the domestic violence survivor ribbon. This page has a nonlinear reading path because the words can be read in any order without losing meaning. The word warning is emphasized differently than the others because it is more significant to the theme of the page. Most victims in these situations ignore the warning signs. The word is also in red because the color is typically a color to show alert or attention. Therefore, I am trying to say pay attention to the warning signs of abuse. The last two phrases, Dewey Tone and Safe House, are significant to the feeling of a domestic violence survivor. Dewey Tone is more of a depressed feeling that comes from abuse. Safe House is a feeling of relief, which refers to survivors after getting out of a bad situation. These two phrases can be read rhythmically and still have the same meaning. This page has been created based off of what I have experienced with social media and relationships. Media has its benefits, but can also be unhealthy for relationships. On this page, I emphasize a nonlinear reading path based on that describes problems social media causes within relationships. I choose to use the most popular social medias for my visual language. This picture gives you a close-up of the strongly stressed word relationship. I choose this source of highlighting so that it would catch the reader user's attention. The word that surrounds the phrase are toxic traits in which social media has caused. Jealousy, for example, can come from many different aspects in social media. The phrase break up is emphasized because it is all too often relationships will end because of problems with social media. Much of the media ecology does the same thing, try to change someone, and has the same effect on a relationship. The phrase change is highlighted because it is most of the time social media will cause someone to change. The mind-body feelings with and without God are compared to on this page. I included chunk text to describe two different feelings before and after being saved. The words emphasized in black demonstrate before and the words in yellow are after. The visual language on this page is a reference of the Christian flag. In the middle of the cross in yellow is the phrase best relationships. This is here because this is the ultimate feeling obtained from relationship with God. At the bottom of the cross in the black is the phrase reality turns into selfish desires. This is a reference that without proper guidance, selfish desires take over one's mindset. I want to come back and describe the differences between phrases. The text circled in black are feelings and thoughts of doubt and of someone who is lost without God. The text in yellow, however, are feelings of joy and selflessness found when someone is saved. The text for this page has multiple reading paths, reading in a linear fashion. Clash with each other while falling in love, romantic connection of sympathetic minds, erotic forces of body, eliminate the promises of love, falling in love. This page focuses on love. The first phrase here, clash with each other at work while falling in love, suggests that this page is about two people who find a connection while working together. The other phrase could suggest a connection of two simple people, romantic connection of sympathetic minds. The pink around these chunk texts is a symbol of love because pink is typically associated with the feeling. The phrase fall in love is emphasized with pink and red hearts, which each get bigger around the phrase as if it were growing, which is supposedly what happens to someone when they are in love. The black that surrounds the heart is a reference to darkness. Much like Theo from the movie Her, once he found Sam, his darkness turned into love. The theme of this page is peace. These phrases link to being peaceful or finding peace in some way. The green is symbolic because it is the color of peace. The flowers are a representation of nature, which brings me peace and often does the same for others. Here I have the word isolation isolated from the other phrases. This is because sometimes in order to find true peace, a person needs to isolate themselves from everything around them. This page is about finding peace within ourselves and being isolated in nature. Much like Aisling from The Secret Life of Kells, she is another example of peace because she lives alone in isolation in the forest. The words great, desire, delight, appealing all describe feelings someone has when they are filled with peace and contentment. The other phrases can also be feelings that describe peace, but remind me more of a way to describe children. This kind of peace is not found from isolation, but instead the opposite, surrounding yourself with innocent, delightful children.